I believe that everybody has a story, and I'm fascinated to hear them. So come with me as we take a walk down Fascination Street. The wait is over. It's finally here. After decades of making people across the country laugh.
I was trying to write the word eulogy the other day, and my phone just kept going like, we haven't found any substitutes. Spell check was a picture of a guy with his pockets pulled out going, I don't know.
And building a podcast empire.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get on, mandate, get it on.
Adam Carolla has produced his very first stand-up special. In association with Chassis Media and Tug.com, Fascination Street Podcast presents Adam Carolla's Not Taco Bell Material.
No one in my family knew what I was doing. They didn't have basic cable. Bad sign financially when you can't afford something that starts with the word basic.
Wednesday, March 20th, 2019, in San Antonio, Texas. Tickets are $12, and you must buy your ticket in advance. We have to meet the pre-sale ticket threshold by March 12th, a week before the event. You can still buy tickets after March 12th, but we have to hit that threshold by March 12th for this event to take place on March 20th. I'm hosting. There will be giveaways of t-shirts, goodie bags, autographed books. All you got to do is show up and be ready to laugh. For ticket information, go to FascinationStreetPod.com. Click on that portrait of Adam Carolla, and it'll take you straight to the place where you buy tickets. It's going to be fun. I'll see you there. Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is with French-turned-American actress Selynne Silver. In this episode, we talk about where Selynne was born and raised, what took her family to France, what made her decide to get into acting, and what led her to ultimately move to the United States to pursue that career. We also talk about some of her favorite parts about living in America. She tells us some stories about working in the industry, and we talk about some of her recent and upcoming projects. So enjoy, folks. This is French and American actress Selynne Silver.
Yeah, talk to me, yeah.
Welcome to Fascination Street Podcast, Selynne Silver. Am I saying your name right?
That is correct, yes.
Fantastic. Selynne, thanks for hanging out with us today and letting us get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about yourself, Selynne. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Where were you raised?
I am from France. I am from Paris, but my family is from a French island in the Indian Ocean called Reunion.
Did you say Reunion?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm familiar with that island.
Yeah, it's close to south of Africa.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So what inspired your family to move from that island, Reunion, to France?
Well, my parents decided to move there because I guess maybe, to get a better life. Like, living in an island, there is not much work. So, and if you want to, give good education to your kids, then you go to the métropole, like we call it. So that means you go to the real big thing, so France.
Ah, that makes sense. I guess I didn't think about it like that. So a few years ago, I think it was 2014. My wife and I, for Christmas, went to Paris.
Okay.
Just the two of us. And I remember everybody saying, like when we were getting ready to go, everybody was telling us, be careful. They're going to mug you. Have like a fake cell phone for when you get mugged. Have a pretend wallet for when you get mugged.
Oh.
And that everybody is just going to be real mean because they don't like Americans.
What?
And also that, you need to try and learn some French because if you don't even try to speak French, then nobody's going to talk to you in English because they hate Americans.
Wow. Many people told me that.
Oh, so it's not just me. You've heard it too.
Yeah. That's crazy. I definitely don't agree with that.
I gotta tell you, we did not see any of that. The people of France and of Paris were so nice and so sweet and so welcoming. Everybody talked to us in English. We tried to speak, a couple of things in French. We were fairly unsuccessful at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess our terrible accents and the confused look on our face, I guess, let everybody know that we spoke English.
Yeah.
So everybody spoke to us in English and nobody tried to steal anything from us. And I mean, it was just a beautiful, lovely, friendly culture. And I don't feel like that is really known because, like I said, everybody just said, it was just going to be really, really rough, and it just wasn't. So I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, great.
But I will say that it was 2 or 3 days after we left Paris that the whole Charlie Hebdo bombing happened.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty crazy.
That's crazy, yeah.
But, like I said, while we were there, there was no indications of any of that. It was lovely.
Yeah.
So, Selynne, what made you decide to get into the entertainment business or acting?
So, after high school, I decided to choose something for me because, all my life, my mother loved to control my life, right? Like always happens. So when I got my high school diploma, I decided, well, now this is the time for me to do something that I can do. And so I decided to enroll at the university and study cinema. But the thing is, I thought I will learn acting over there, but no, that was not that. It was just the history of cinema, which wasn't the thing that I wanted to do. So I kind of left my passion behind and just studied some things that were not relevant at all to acting. And a few years after, out of nowhere, I woke up in the morning and I said, I am born to shine. And I started to look for acting gigs online and to get into acting class in France. And this is how it started.
Interesting. So you just woke up one day and decided, I think I'm going to become an actress.
Yeah.
So not really having any acting experience or taking any, acting sort of classes in school, did you find it difficult to break into the acting business over there? Because I would imagine that you didn't really know anybody in the business since you kind of hadn't been in that community, of actors and entertainers and whatnot. So how did that work out for you in the industry in France?
So I did some big things, actually. I did a big TV show with a big French TV personality. So the show is called Mes parents vont t'adorer. So that was a kind of unscripted show. Like there was a lot of improvisation needed, and I got cast in it, and that was amazing. And so it was broadcast on a big TV channel called Énergie 12 in France. It got broadcast quite a few times, actually, which was great. And I've been for 8 years now the face of a French campaign. I was hired as a lead actress in it. It's called Terrienne, and this is on TV5 Monde, which is the international TV channel. And for 8 years, I've been one of the face of this program, and I just renewed my rights last year. So that's a big thing.
Wow, 8 years on a big campaign like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that campaign, is it a product or a service or, what is that campaign for?
So actually, no, this is for a TV program that is dedicated to the condition of women in the world.
Oh, so like a campaign to promote, women's equality, like that?
Correct. So that's a big thing. That's not a product or whatever. That's a serious matter. Like, for example, in this program, they talk about, the inequalities between men and women, that men make more money than women for the same job or stuff like that. So that was to do promo videos for this show.
Oh, cool. So is that campaign just in France or is it all over Europe or is it, worldwide? Like, where is that being seen?
Well, they're on internet, and because since TV 5 Monde is an international TV channel, there is like in USA too. So no, you can see it in America too, everywhere actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel like France is more known for their models than for their acting, and that may just be me being an ugly American, but I feel like France has more of a foothold in the modeling arena. Did you ever do any modeling?
I did some here and there, like a lot of people in the industry. I'm a model too, I will say. But yeah, I've done some stuff here and there, some pictures here and there. Not big things though, but yeah, a few photo shoots here and there.
Cool. So a lot of actors and actresses, they will do film, television, commercials, of course, modeling, but then also stage production like plays.
Yeah.
Have you done or do you do any plays?
I did one back in France. I did some live events here and some immersive theater in America as well. I just did one called The Unknown. I did it for Halloween last October, and that was great. That was my first immersive theater show, and that was amazing.
Oh, cool. You did a play for Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
And that was in like the LA area?
Yeah, definitely. It was I don't know if you're familiar with Los Angeles, but it was in Silver Lake. And that was the first time I was doing that, and that was incredible.
Ah, Silver Lake. Gotcha. I am, I guess, vaguely familiar with sort of the LA area. I do know that Silver Lake used to be maybe a not so great part of town, but then over the past, few years, maybe almost a decade, Silver Lake has really turned around. And so now, instead of being a little bit of a less desirable area of town, it's sort of an up-and-coming kind of almost the place you want to be type of place. So that's really cool that you got to do that play over there in Silver Lake. That's awesome.
Yeah. There is so many areas that are not that great or that were not great before. So, yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of those kind of areas all over the place.
Yeah, definitely.
We have those here too in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
So you're growing up in Paris, you're acting, you're doing, a little bit of modeling, and things seem to be going well. What made you decide to come to the United States?
First of all, it was mostly just to improve my English because, speaking English is important, in the everyday life everywhere in the world. So at first it was just for that, mostly to improve my English and stuff and to further my education in America. And then later on, out of nowhere again, I thought, well, why not focus like for a year into really doing acting and going to school for acting here in America. And last year I graduated from UCLA, and since I've been a full-time actress.
Congratulations on graduating from UCLA.
Thank you.
That's awesome that you're a full-time actress. And do you have an agent?
I do not. I'm not really on the lookout for one. And right now it's pilot season, so they don't really have time for that. But I've been getting a lot of work by myself.
How so?
Like, for example, I get about 30 auditions each month for the past 8 months, 9 months actually.
Wow, really? 30 auditions per month?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's actually even more than a person who has an agent.
That's pretty impressive. How are you able to pull that off?
Well, I just work hard, I guess, I'm on everything. Like I'm trying to, every day I'm looking for work, even when I'm on set or whatever, I'm looking for work.
Well done. So the stuff that you're auditioning for and the work that you're getting, is that on TV or is that on stage? Is it in film?
Honestly, I want to do everything that I can do. I've been on TV, like for example, tomorrow I have a show that is going to air. Well, it was called America's Court with Judge Ross. So tomorrow my episode is airing on KCAL 9, so I'm super excited for that. But otherwise, I've done quite a few movies. I played lead in some short films, One of the latest was Daphne Saw. It got attention from an organization that actually tried to bring awareness to human trafficking and stuff like that. So this is going to be a big thing.
Oh, human trafficking. Wow.
Yeah, and then I have a movie that just came out as well. It was featured at the PanAfrican American Festival. It's called Everything That Glitters, and I had a big starring role in it, and my co-star were big celebrities. Like they were nominated for Image Awards. Like one of them is starring right now in a big TV show with Chris Pine called I Am the Night. I just did a pilot last month called Black Title Here. This is very a promising pilot. The director, when he saw me auditioning, it actually changed the script for me. He made the girl French while in his mind she was supposed to be American. So that's a pretty big thing too.
Wow. The director actually changed the character to fit you?
Mm-hmm.
That's almost unheard of. That never happens. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, let me ask you this. You've been out of school for a few years, and you seem to be doing pretty well in the industry.
Thank you.
Looking at your pictures, you look very, very young. How old are you?
This is not something that we say.
Oh, we don't talk about age.
No, we don't say the age of actors.
Sorry, we don't have to talk about your age. Sorry about that. It's just that you look really, really young, and it seems like you've had a pretty decent amount of success for somebody so, relatively new in the business.
Thank you. The thing with me, which is great, is I can play a high school student and I can play a 60-year-old woman too. I played actually but not really. I wasn't supposed to be 60, but I looked like I was 60. But I played a 45-year-old woman in a short film that I shot last year. So yeah, and sometimes, like I said, I play high school students. So, I'm kind of versatile in this area, and that's great.
I can't imagine you playing a 45 or a 60-year-old because you look really, really young.
Thank you.
So here in America, usually parents aren't too excited about their child getting into the entertainment business or trying to become an actor or a comedian or a musician or anything like that. So how do your parents feel about you pursuing this as a career?
Oh my gosh. Every time that my mother comes to visit, she tells me, okay, when are you getting a real job? Because for her, this is just a dream, like she cannot understand that. She doesn't believe that someone can make a living as an actor or as an actress. So, yeah, she would love for me to get a regular job. Or, for example, before I was working in insurance for quite some time. I was making good money. And then, I left and I came to America to study. So, I think she would love for me to go back to this field, but that's not really something that I want to do.
I've talked to a lot of actors and musicians and comedians, and it seems to be that so far as I can tell, most American parents are not super excited about their child, trying to get into the entertainment industry.
Right. That's sad. I think you got to support your kids, like if my daughter or my son was telling me, oh, Mom, I want to be an actor, I want to be a musician or whatever, I would be supportive.
Sure. Yeah, of course. So with you living here and your parents living, on the other side of the world, how often do you get to see them?
My mother came last year. My father doesn't like America. So, he came once to see. I won't say doesn't like, but it's not his thing. So I saw him a few years back.
So you've lived in America for a while. What would you say is maybe the biggest difference between living in Europe and living here in America? From Paris to Los Angeles.
The biggest difference is, the thing that I'm going to say that I always say most of the time is the food is quite different.
Sure.
And then Here, for example, if I want to go to the beach, I'm just like 30 minutes away. In France, I mean, at least in Paris, you got to drive for hours to get to the beach.
Well, depending on traffic, sometimes you may have to drive hours to get to the beach, even in Los Angeles.
Yeah. But yeah, like the weather is different. But, like I've always heard that in Los Angeles, the weather is amazing, blah, blah, blah. But that is really not true. Like, it's been raining for days out here, and it's cold and stuff like that. So people who tell you it never rains in Los Angeles are, I don't know, they're blind, or I don't know what's going on with them, but it's raining out here.
Really?
Yeah. Almost every day it was raining for the past 2 weeks, and it wasn't small rain, like it was big rain.
Really? You guys have gotten a lot of rain?
Yeah.
That is not the Los Angeles I'm familiar with at all. As far as I know, it rains once a year there for about 10 minutes.
Ah, right.
And, it's a constant 75 degrees or something. Los Angeles has no weather, or so the rest of us are led to believe.
So see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You guys said that it never rains here, but yes, I've been here for many years. I know that it does rain. That's fake.
That's crazy. You guys are supposed to be in the desert. But I think people tend to lie about the weather in their particular area and make it seem a little nicer than it actually is. My wife and I lived in Louisville, Kentucky for a little bit, and they all lied about the weather also. So I think that's pretty common. So what would you say is like your favorite thing about Los Angeles?
Okay, my favorite thing about Los Angeles. I would say Los Angeles is my second home, so that's why this is one of my favorite places, or my favorite thing,
Well, that makes sense. That's real sweet. Plus, it's beautiful there. So have you had the opportunity to film outside of California and see any of the country?
Yeah, I shot once. Where was that? I shot in Death Valley.
I think Death Valley is mostly in California, but there's a little bit of it in Nevada, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Any other states that you've had the opportunity to work in?
Yes, I shot recently in South Carolina.
Oh, cool. What did you shoot there?
A feature film called Ashes to Ashes.
Oh, cool.
I was one of the lead in it, but it never got distributed because there was some issues with the releases forms, and one of the other lead actress did not want to send the papers, so it never got distributed.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you messing with me?
No, I'm not. I am not.
That's crazy. I've never even heard of that before.
But now you hear it.
How does it happen that the film gets all the way through casting and pre-production and, completed, and the director never got the release form signed?
Well, the director didn't really know that he will need to have people's release form before he talks to a person that does distribution. And because when he was ready to submit it to that person, the person told him that he needed to have released this form of everybody. And this girl did not want to sign one because, financial issues or whatever. And yes, so the movie never got distributed.
Wow, that must be heartbreaking, kind of. You shot this film and then it's never going to get seen?
Yeah. But that's okay. I have other big movies that are coming up, so for me, I'm good.
Well, you did get paid, right? So you probably weren't going to make too much more money, whether the film got released or not. So, at least you got paid.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
So, Selynne, what's in the works? What do you have coming up?
What I have coming up. So like I said earlier, I just did a TV pilot called Black Title Here. So we shot the first episode in December, so right now it's in post-production, and so we are supposed to do other episodes soon, so I can wait for that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And while we're waiting on that to get picked up, do you have other projects in the works?
I'm supposed to play the lead in another feature film soon. So actually, I worked with the director once, and we got an award for our movie. It was a short film called Bash. And the director was so impressed with my work that he wants to hire me for another movie, which is a feature film, and I'm super excited. We're supposed to shoot maybe towards the end of the year.
Oh, cool. What's that movie called?
The movie is called The Master's House, so I'm super excited about that.
The Master's House. Awesome.
Yeah.
And did you say that TV show is called Black Title here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And where will we be able to see that? Do you know yet?
So as of now, they're still working on the details, so I am not sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right now they're still working on the details, so I cannot tell you.
Have you been to any film festivals?
What do you mean, have I been to any? Like for my movies or just like in general?
I was really talking about for your projects, but if you have been in general, I would like to hear about that also.
Oh, okay. So regarding my movies, so recently I went to the Pan-African American Film Festival because one of my feature films called Everything That Glitters was featured there. So yeah, that was amazing. There were so many people there and so many movies shown. That was great.
Oh, that's awesome. How did you get that role in Everything That Glitters? What
happened with this movie is quite interesting. So I got called last minute to be an extra on this movie. And, instead of staying on my phone or whatever, when I was on set, like I tried to help around, and like, for example, I saw this guy who had a speaking role in it. Like I asked him, hey, do you need help with your lines or whatever? And so he was like, sure. So I helped him with it. And then a few minutes later, I hear the first AD panicking over the fact that they did not cast an important role, a starring role, that actually it was a main role too. It was Mr. Matthews. I don't know how, but they forgot to cast this person. So I was like, you know what? I want to do it. I can do it. Like I've trained for many years. I can do it. And they were a bit hesitant at first because they didn't know, my background or whatever. And well, at first they just hired me to be, just an extra, like a small part, a small role. And well, they decided actually that they will let me try. And here I was playing actually Mrs. Matthews, a starring role, and I got scenes with celebrities. For example, Golden Brooks, who is right now in the TV show called I Am the Night. She's a series regular. And in this TV show, there is Chris Pine.
Oh, Golden Brooks. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. So like I got great dialogue with those people, and so I was pretty excited about that.
Well, you should be pretty excited.
Yeah.
Wow. So did you say that they changed the role to make it a woman?
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. I think that really shows, like you said, that you're constantly, like you're always looking for work. That's really cool. That shows some initiative. Good job.
Oh, wow.
So what are your plans for your career, say, over the next 1 year?
The next 1 year? Well, honestly, I would love to get more TV credits. That would be great. I mean, with Black Title here, I think I have a chance to be series regular. I mean, right now I'm considered a series regular. But like if it expands and we do many seasons and stuff like that, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, being series regular in the TV show is like kind of a dream, right?
And what about films?
Mm-hmm. And eventually being the lead in a few other feature films will be great.
Cool. So you're going to keep striving in both the film and the television avenues.
Mm-hmm.
So having your resume be mostly, French projects, do you feel like that made it harder to get started in the industry in America?
What do you mean by mostly French resume? Because my resume has a lot of Americans credit.
You did some work in France before you got over here. So I guess, back then, did you find it difficult to find work considering you didn't have any American credits?
When I first got here, I was mostly here for school. I wasn't really here to do acting or whatever.
Right.
So cannot really say anything about that.
Well, that makes sense. Sorry about that. Selynne, are you on social media?
Yeah, I am on Instagram. I use Instagram. I use Facebook. Yeah, those. And I used to have Twitter, but I don't use it. Those are the main social media that I use, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
And where can people find you on social media?
The same exact name that you know me as.
So just at Selynne Silver? Selynne Silver?
Yeah, Selynne Silver.
So is there anything that I didn't ask or that we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about?
I think we covered kind of everything, actually.
That's great. I feel like we covered a pretty good amount of stuff.
Yeah, I believe we did.
Oh, so you are getting a lot of auditions and you're working in film and television. Are you pursuing any commercial acting, some commercial auditions?
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, I've been doing a lot. Like, I've been, for example, I just took a very well-known commercial class here in Los Angeles called Killian's Workshop. So now that I did that, I better book some. You know, it's not that easy to book commercials. I've done some commercials, like small commercials, but big commercials, it's really hard to get, but I'm working towards it. You know, like I said, I just took an amazing workshop, so I'm looking forward to book a national.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you get a big national commercial.
Oh, thank you.
And, you know, film and television studios are popping up all over the country, so hopefully you'll get to work in Atlanta and New Mexico, Colorado, even Texas. I think they even got a lot of stuff going on in New Orleans right now, so that'd be really cool.
Oh, I would love that too, definitely.
Give you a chance to see the country.
You know that I was supposed actually to do a movie in Pennsylvania or whatever, but I don't know, for some reason I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's great to shoot in Los Angeles, but that's even better when you shoot outside of Los Angeles. So yeah, I definitely want that, yeah.
Like, was that a surprise to you when you got into the business to see how many things just really don't happen?
Yeah.
Well, I do wish people would promise less.
Yes, for sure.
And maybe be a little bit better on their follow-through with actually getting stuff done.
Oh my gosh. Yes, and that is very annoying. Like, sometimes I get cast in some stuff, and then, like, last year I was supposed to play the lead in a short film, actually in 2 short films. I don't know, people just disappear, and I don't understand. Like, you know, you invest a lot in a project, and then it just doesn't happen. Like, you know, you have to go to auditions, or you have to send self-tapes, and you have to study and all that stuff, and then they tell you they love you, and then you never hear from them again. And so that is crazy, and I don't understand that. A person shouldn't, like, just disappear like that. At least, you know, give a heads up and you know, answer the phone or something, but don't leave us hang, you know. I think that's the sad part of this industry. So that's the thing that is a bit annoying. Or, you know, a lot of people sometimes, they make fake promises to you too, you know, it happens. Or sometimes you encounter people that are going to try to scam you, whatever, and this sucks as well. But thankfully, there is people out there that are real and that really want to work and put their project out there for real. So that's good.
Well, Selynne Silver, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us on Fascination Street and let us get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I can't wait to see you all over TV and film in the near future, and hopefully you'll get a big nationwide commercial soon.
Yeah, sounds great. I'm looking forward to it too. Yeah, nationwide, yeah. Definitely. Thank you.
Well, again, Selynne, thank you so much, and I want you to have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Opening music is the song Magnolia from the 2014 album Intransigence, used with permission from Douglas Miles Clark. Closing music is Apollo from the 2001 album Into the Known by the band Sapphire. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting to know a little bit about our guest. We'll see you next time on Fascination Street.